Personal growth. Let's talk about it.
So, let me introduce my first guest to Let's Talk About It. She's not only a friend, she's a sister, she's my confidant, she's my counselor sometimes. She keeps me in line, y'all. Do you hear me? I be wanting her to take my side so bad. Just a little bit. And she be like, no, Nels, that's not right. And whenever I'm feeling down and I gotta get it out, she always say, let's talk about it. So, help me welcome Sherelle.
So happy to be here today. I'm just ready to talk about it. Like she said, we have conversations. So we get deep conversations.
Yeah.
Like really deep conversations.
We
So
do.
today I'm excited about the first podcast. I pray to God that she flourishes and she blossoms into the absolute best version of herself that she can be. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So, this is actually like our second or third take. So let's talk about it. Let's keep it real. We got real deep, real good, real fast.
And the camera recording.
And the camera was not recording. And that just to show you that we kind of needed that little personal conversation to ourselves first. But we still gonna share what was brought in because she made some real good valid points. And I think they deserve to at least know about it. So the topic was
Personal growth.
personal growth.
Personal growth for me is evolving as your own individual, evolving for you, taking time for you, spending time with you, learning you, getting to know you personally. Because some people live life for other people. Like, as for me, in my situation, in my house, I was mom and I was wife for so many years that I never took time to learn Trey because I was in mommy mode or wifey mode.
Wow. Yeah.
So recently, I lost my husband in December. I'm a young widow out here. And as much as it still hurts to not have him here, me not having him here forced me to learn me. Take time to get to know me. And it's still taking time. You know, you don't learn yourself in 4 or 5 months or whatever. It takes time. Just like you learn your spouse, it still takes time for you to learn you. So it's things now in my life, I'm like, oh, I had no idea. Like,
I had no idea. I think one of the questions that I asked her was like, what happens when you don't know that you don't know yourself? Because people be like, oh, you like this? And you be like, that's not even my character. But in reality,
it's what other people see.
It's what other people see. And it's just you being
in denial.
In denial.
And denial is a heavy one. Denial is something like a drug, baby. Because denial taking place, you be like, whole time. We had dialogue before, and I'm like, no. Yeah, that's what it is. She was like, no, it's not. I'm like, it is. But it's like she's taking time for herself now, and she's having aha moments. I have taken time for myself, and now I'm look at her.
First of all,
moments.
I have a lot of aha moments with Trey because you are very good at just breaking it down. A lot of people don't have that, and so when it comes to breaking something down and having to look at other people's point of view, I think that's one of the hardest things for growth because, you know, everybody just wants to be right. I know for sure. I'm a bull. And I gotta be. I don't care if the question was a percentage. If I got at least 20% of that question right, I'm right.
Anyway, I believe I'm an optimistic person. So I see the greater good in, I mean, when I say I see, I try to see the greater good in everybody.
I know.
You have to work on that.
God is still working on it.
And he who without sin cast the first stone. You would not be around here doing this. You gotta get to know these people. But anyway, you have to optimism sometimes don't be not good because sometimes you gotta just see people for face value for what they are.
Right.
But me on the other hand, I'm like, well, you gotta give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they've been through this.
Yeah.
Maybe they've dealt through this. Like even though I'm dealing with things, I still try to keep a
open mind.
To certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm going through all the things. All of the things I'm going to push through.
Well, let's backspace a little bit because you said you was dealing with mommy Trey and wife Trey, but you had to get to know Trey
I had to get to know
on her own. And I was telling you that I was dealing with mommy Nell, wife Nell, but I was also dealing with hurt now.
The traumatic now.
Yes, like traumatized, fragile, like
PTSD kind of.
ooh, you see the box that says handle with care, fragile, like that was me. And if I felt like you tripped over your own foot and you had me in your hand, I want to fight because you didn't handle me with care. And the instructions simply said handle me with care.
But you want to fight for something that you could avoid. You had to heal you first before you jumped into anything else. If you was healed going into that relationship, then guess what? You wouldn't have had no problems either.
She about to tell my. Let's talk about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's talk about it because
sometimes we blame people for us. Like if you was healed before you got in that relationship from the past trauma that you was in, you wouldn't have been in that in your previous relationship. That's not just for you, that's for me too.
Yeah.
That's any type of relationship. That's a relationship when you courting, there's a relationship when you're married, there's a relationship with your kids, it's a relationship with your friends, it's a relationship with anybody. Say for instance, if a cousin or something hurt you or whatever, you be like, I don't trust none of them cousins. I don't trust none of them. But in all that shit, once you hear from that cousin, you can begin to trust another cousin or anything. We have to hear from certain situations. We think jumping into other relationships help heal the problem when it doesn't.
He was there for me at my most traumatic time. Is what
somebody could.
Yes, but it's something that we say as women, like
people put in your life for a reason. So you do have some people who can help you get through the healing process. But if you go in there looking for different things, if you go in there, if you leave a broken relationship, you go into another one looking for love. Why you broke? It's not gonna work. But if you have somebody else who's pushing you through the brokenness, if you have a friend, say a friend, and he's like, "Come on, Chanel, I need you to Come on, we're gonna go do this. I need you to get past the trauma versus saying, well, come on, let's get together and date.
Yeah,
let's go court. Let's have sex. Let's go do things. Because soul ties is real. So you can
soul ties is real. And you know what I think we end up doing? I think we take the person that we love and we say, if you love me, then you'll heal with me. And
you can't expect them to heal with you. They ain't broke like you broke.
Ooh, girl, I almost kicked you. Listen, so you know what we do is, you ever had like a broken vase? Okay, your mama says, stop running, stop running. You gonna break my good china. Stop running. And one day your mama at work and you running, y'all praying, and you break that china and you like, oh my God, I done broke this. This was the only thing she told me not to do. I done broke this. Let me get this super glue. Let me get this super glue. Temporary fix, because eventually the super glue loses its value and you can still see the crack. Now mind you, you can tell that it was broken. You can tell it was broken, but it's together. So
it's still cracked up.
But it's still cracked up.
Put some water in there. See if the water don't.
Try!
See if the water don't come.
Put some water in that vase, y'all. And
remember we were talking about that the other night?
Man! Listen
to me. Y'all listen. Hold on.
Let's talk about
that.
Let's talk about it with them. Let's talk about it.
I'm ready. So we were having a conversation on the phone for hours.
Yeah.
Typical Trey thing sometimes. So she was saying, in a certain situation, the person, she's pouring into the person.
Okay, so
you can pour into someone.
So let me. Okay, so I love Sarah Jakes. Okay, so I listen to her, inspirational things, and lo and behold, I was dealing with my own personal growth, and I just kept feeling like everything that I give into people, I don't get that back, and it made me become angry, and it put me in a place where I felt like I'm unappreciated, and I just didn't know which way to turn. So I'm at work one day and I'm listening to the podcast, and then TD Jakes comes on, and it's about growth. It's about accepting. And he goes on and he says, you can very well be a gallon, and the person you love can be a pint. I'm like, okay, let me see where you're going. And he can say, and you can pour into this person, and you're because you value so much, you can hold so much, you're overflowing them, and now you're empty, and you're asking them to pour back into you. And remember, they're only a pint and you're a gallon, so they're pouring into you all that they have, but it's not filling you up.
So and here's the example I gave her. So
then we got our own intern.
So I said, okay, well, you're the gallon and they're the pint. What happens when you overeat or if you eat too much?
You become full and uncomfortable.
You get full and uncomfortable. You get miserable, actually. You have to unbutton your pants. You gotta adjust yourself. Sometimes you be so stuffed you can't lay down. You have to just sit there because you're so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So if she was a gallon and she's pouring inside the pint and she just keep pouring, the pint don't have nowhere to put anything. They're miserable. They cannot handle everything that you pour into them at one time. Pour a little bit at a time. Just keep pouring. If you have to pour a little bit every day so that they can get what you're trying to give them, you just pour a little bit every day so they don't get full and miserable and overwhelmed. As far as her being the gallon, if they only have a pint and you poured all you had to pour into them, now they miserable. They uncomfortable and they shine away from what you're saying because at this point they don't want to hear anything because they're stuffed.
Because I'm giving you so much.
Giving all the things.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Yes.
And now I'm asking you to pour to me like feed me.
So they got that little bit of gallon and they pouring day by day, pouring little by little. They pouring. They not pouring what she wants them to pour. They're not pouring all the things, but they pouring what they have. And if somebody give you what they have, accept it and go about your day. I had to tell her this shit.
Y'all, it got so real. Y'all, it got so real that we even had to go spiritual because at this point, when do you start listening to God, right? So it's so crazy because I'm like, I just need a little bit more, just a little bit more. And it was like, okay, listen, God has only made this person a pint for a reason. Because you keep asking for more, but God keeps saying, I'm not trying to give you all that right now. All right, go ahead. I'm going to give you what I got. And if you keep asking me for this, I'm going to overflow you. Now I'm about to make you uncomfortable.
And that's when the thoughts come in. That's when the depression set in. That's when the stress and the anxiety set in. That's when you start bickering and arguing with your husband for absolutely nothing when the whole time is you. Because you don't want to just be patient.
Because you're being greedy.
Be patient.
Because I gave you enough to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not supposed to glut.
Mm-hmm.
So
I gave you what you need to throw.
What happens when you begin to glut for personal relationships?
That's a good one.
Like, I just need more.
But like the time I told you, he only giving you what he got. He giving you what he has.
Give it the best that I got, baby. It's like everything is like a domino effect, right? So everything falls in line with this personal growth topic because at this moment right now, I'm trying to fast. And I'm trying to align myself back and I need to learn who Chanel is. And I realized that past trauma caused Chanel to affect my present. And from the decisions that I make in my present, it can definitely affect my future.
Growth is inevitable. You'll begin to grow because guess what? My husband came. Like the Lord meet you down there in the trenches, baby. He come and sit with you. If your husband, me and Bird weathered the storm. And I think that's why we prospered the way we did because of what we weathered together.
Right.
Like when he was down, guess who was down there with him? Me. When he was up, guess who was up with him? Me. Same thing.
That's not only personal growth, that's soul growth.
It is.
Yeah.
He is definitely my soulmate. Never gonna ever, listen to me, never gonna ever take that away because the things we went through was what we went through. The things we learned from was what we learned from. When he was down, I said, babe, I got you. You don't have to worry about anything. I don't want you to feel less of a man because guess what? I'm here to help.
Yeah. So we had a little lunch date before this and we knew that we were going to definitely talk about growth because the conversation that we had the other night in our car chronicles, right? So we went to eat lunch and the waiter, which wasn't even our, y'all check this out. She wasn't even our waiter, okay? The young lady passed by the table with the alcohol beverage, and I was like, "Oh my God, that looks so good."
Help her, Lord.
He's still working on me. and she was like, "It is. Why don't you have one?" And at that moment, discipline kicked in, and it was like, "I can't." And she was like, "Aha!" That was my aha moment. It felt so good to be like, "No, I'm good. Thank you, though. I'm proud of your growth.
I'm proud of your discipline there."
And so, because she know that's discipline. And so she was like, well, why not? And, you know, you're not really supposed to say you're fasting, but I did.
Something gave you the urge to say it.
Something gave me the urge to.
Well, not
God gave me the
God.
Okay, we're going to give you your credit.
God.
God gave me the courage and just to say, let her know. So I said, I'm fasting. She was like, what are you fasting from? So basically, I started listing some things. And so we started talking to her. And she was like, well, I kind of feel like those fasts aren't really fasts because it's not really a cleanser. And, you know, this and that and that. And then minutes pass by, y'all. This girl is at work, okay? Minutes pass by, and then she says, "That's so crazy that
A couple of days ago,
I was just telling myself that I needed to do a 3-day fast." And we both looked at each other and was like, "Oh, this about to be good."
ready for that.
We was ready for her. We was like, "Okay, I'm talking."
So what's your version of fasting? She was
Yeah.
like giving up food, I said, okay, well, which is cool. You can give
Yeah.
up food. I said, but food is the only thing you have to give up. You can give up social media, whatever consumes most of your time.
Right.
And fun fact about her, she don't even have social media.
Crazy. She don't have Instagram, Facebook. She said she
don't
got
have
TikTok.
anything.
You know,
got
TikTok
TikTok.
is the new Google.
I don't have anything. I said, oh, well, you're already starting out good.
Yeah, you're doing good. I said, whatever you feel like have you in a chokehold. Because sometimes we be like, oh, I'm good. I can stop when I want to.
It can be sex.
Oh.
It can be a person who you're closely tied to.
Yes.
That can have a chokehold on you.
Yes.
And I'm not saying a sexual partner. It can be someone you're close to, like your best friend or whoever, your confidant, whoever that is. It can be television. It can be anything. And so we was explaining that to her. She was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, baby, you don't always have to give up food. Now, food is great for you to give up because she said she's a binge eater. I said, well, stop eating then.
Yeah.
If you're a binge eater, stop eating.
She was like, put her down.
Put the food away. If that's
Back away.
That's your thing. Put the food away.
And I heard
Look at my
that. And so she did. She said she binge eat or whatever. And so she was like, I'm just so happy that I stopped and talked to y'all because this was just basically my confirmation. And I had to ask her, like, what is it that you want to hear from a podcast? Like, what is it that you want to talk about? And she said it. She was like, personal growth. Because I feel like I'm trying to learn myself and she doesn't know where to start. So real quick, let's talk about how do we start off with personal growth? Like, do we just isolate ourselves from the world? Because that's something I got a problem with, and I know I'm not the only person.
So isolation is never a good thing. Isolation, like just shedding yourself is never a good thing. Now you can isolate the things that you allow to come into your space. Right. You don't have to go out. You don't have to go and drink. You don't have to go and smoke. Guilty pleasure. You don't have to go do none of those things or whatever. So you don't have to. I won't say isolate yourself from everything and everyone, but sometimes isolation is good for your thoughts. Like if you take time, maybe a day. I'm not saying isolate for weeks of time, but if you take a day don't answer your phone. I mean, you have kids, so you definitely have to have your phone handy, but don't answer your phone for people you don't want to feed negativity into your spirit. Because sometimes we can conversate and we can have dialogue with people who always got negative things to say, which in turn feeds us negative energy. So you don't wonder why you feel weighed down because they didn't say something that wore your spirit out.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I wish my niece was available. We have this thing. We have this thing to where I just want to touch on what you just said about, don't let people take a day and don't let people bring that negativity into your spirit, into your, because my niece and I have this thing to where, like, sometimes she'll call, right? And a lot of people they don't know how to respect personal time. So she will, but she will call and say she's going through something, but we haven't talked in a few days. She doesn't necessarily know what I'm going through, so she'll call and she'll say, "Hey, Nanny, do you have space? Not time,
space.
Do you have space?
Do you have the capacity?
Do you have the capacity
to
hold what I need? Because I gotta release it. But if you don't have the space, I don't want to overflow you and make you uncomfortable. My God, you see what I mean when I say domino effect? Like, everything makes sense when you sit down and you analyze it. So we've been saying this for years, and she taught me that. She's my younger niece, and she taught me that. She said, I don't want to call you and just start, then you got your own personal issues, and not once did I call you. I have a personal family member that got that bad. I mean, they call. It's not no, hey, how you doing? How was your day? What was your? It was. Let me tell you this. Let me make you laugh.
You know what you need to start doing? But like, give me one moment. I'm gonna call you right back.
I'm gonna call you right back.
Oh, now you know what? Sometimes you gotta be blunt with people. I don't have time for that today.
I had to. You know what? And y'all don't get mad when somebody tells you, I don't have the space to receive what you gotta release. Respect that as that personal growth and be like,
you have to have a level of maturity to understand when people tell you, I don't have time for that.
And then it's it's
and
not
this time of my
time.
life is personal.
But
If
it's
I
not
don't want to hear it,
time.
I don't have time.
It's space. My space is so valuable.
my space.
My space is so valuable.
Mhm.
And if it costs my peace and my sanity,
I don't want it.
It's too expensive.
I don't want it.
Baby, that is priceless.
I don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took 2024 personally for me.
2020, you did.
I'm gonna get my peace back. If by all means, swinging, fighting, kicking, cussing, fussing, snide, I'm gonna get it back.
Temper tantrums and all.
I'm going to get it back.
Yeah.
It's mandatory that I get, because I can be no service to me.
Yeah.
I can be no service to my kids if I don't have peace here.
Yeah.
I have to have peace.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about finding peace and being okay, even if it's really not what you thought peace was.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we be like, God, whatever. I'm not gonna say sometimes. Everybody do it.
Mm-hmm.
God, take whatever ain't for me away, Lord Jesus. Grandma, pray for me. Pray. I don't know the demons that own me.
I ain't that dramatic. I don't be doing all the things. But I do. So prayer have been not a thing of the past. I'm not saying that, Lord, please forgive me. But prayer has been. I've struggled.
Yeah.
Given certain circumstances, I was struggling, because I'm like, listen. The last prayer I prayed was, Lord, listen to me. I don't think I ever prayed that hard in my life.
Yeah.
And He didn't answer me. So, in my mind, as a human being, in my flesh, I'm like, what am I praying for? Bro, I prayed like that was the most sincere prayer I ever prayed in my entire life. Like, and I pray all the time. But that prayer came from my soul.
It was deeper.
That prayer came from the bottom, from the depths of my soul.
From the bottom of my heart.
And I've always gave God His credit, because He's simply amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to say, God hears me. When I pray, He hears me. That day else, He didn't hear me. I'm sorry. He heard me. He just didn't give me what I wanted.
Yeah. And so that's you trying to find peace for God's decision.
Absolutely.
And so with personal growth, God has to be first.
He does.
So we should have started off there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not get it twisted at all.
God is always the main focus.
God is always
Yes,
the main
I've struggled
focus.
with prayer, but in those times when you struggle with prayer, it's not because I don't know how to pray. I've been in church all my life. I know how to pray. It's that I don't have the words. So my words to Him is, Lord, even if I don't have the words, please hear my heart. Because at the end of the day, I'm still human.
Yeah.
I'm still your child. I'm still trying to find my way through life here.
Right.
I'm still trying to find out how I'm going to live and keep pushing through life without my spouse here. It is hard. But he knew that I'll be able to handle it. That's why He put me in the position I'm in.
Yeah. This was already written.
It
like
was.
everything that we go through, everything that we talked about, it's just Him watching it unfold. And at this point of time in my life, I feel like not a lot of people are comfortable. I think a lot of people are afraid to have personal growth. A lot of people.
It's scary.
It is. Do you remember the other night we were on the phone and we were saying, and it just keeps running through my mind. I even said it at work, and one of the nurses was like, "Oh, girl, that's a word." It was, in personal growth will end up being in a dark place for a moment, right? But
Even in that darkness.
even in that darkness, God, I don't want you to leave
Don't
me.
leave me there.
I'm afraid of the
Even if
dark.
I'm there, Lord, come in there with me.
Come in there with me. And look, let me tell you something. It's just like this light. Okay, so we're in the garage, of course, and this light goes off and on, and we make the joke about it being the spirit of her husband. And for me, I think this is just a metaphor right now, because right now the light has clicked off. Okay. And so it's like, even when I'm in a moment, even when I'm in the, you better stop playing, even when I'm in the dark, even when I'm in a dark space and you're not shining so bright, Trey, do you see
It's
the
dim.
little bitty
It's
dim? God, I just need you to be that little bitty dim of light. Because I'm afraid of the dark. Because the dark will take, being in, oh, what did we say?
Being in a dark place.
With your own thoughts.
Don't leave me with my thoughts.
Don't leave me with my
With my
thoughts.
thoughts. Don't do it. Don't leave me in a dark place with my thoughts at that. Lord have mercy. Don't leave me. And then, like when he first started, I kept telling y'all, I'm enjoying the company because I do not want to be left alone
With my thoughts. Yeah.
Them thoughts will tear you up here,
Baby, they will have you running down the street like Smokey.
I'm telling you, when they got my clothes on, baby, I'm talking about
in the chicken coop.
don't
Because
leave
my thoughts don't
They
leave
run
with my
wild.
thoughts.
But Lord, even if
Yeah.
I don't have the words
Yeah.
in my heart, even if I stray away,
Yeah.
because I'm acting out, I'm being rebellious in this time, you know.
Because I'm hurt.
Oh, I'm tore up.
I'm dealing with hurt because at this moment I was real personal with you guys and I trusted you. And I don't ask for much. Now you know I'll be asking, pay my bill. Oh God, let me win the lottery. Oh God, you know what I'm saying? Let this man give me this. But you know that's little stuff. I was telling you, don't take my soul away from me, and you was like, I got you because you can't love him more than you love me now. I got you.
And I realized that God loves us both. He loved Bird more than I could ever have loved him. So in my healing process, that's what I have to get rid of the confusion. I have to get rid of the and I never asked him why. I just told him to show me why. Because I don't want to never ask you why, God, because your reason is your reason. Like
Right.
I said, I don't ask why. Just help me not to be so confused. I want you to show me the why.
That's deep. And I think not only with, grievement, but God help me with the why, like show me the why I had to go through the trauma that I went through personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it was to build the woman that I am. And the woman that I am continuing to grow into become.
So that's another thing with personal growth. You gotta first grow. You have to grow spiritually as well.
Yeah.
You have to know, and nobody is so spiritual. But they don't do wrong because everybody do wrong. But in the sense of wanting to become a better you have to first pray because you got to be like, listen, I need a little guidance because Tremaine can't do it by herself. Chanel can't do it by herself. What I need a little push. I mean, just shove me over a little bit. I need a little help. You know,
you need a little push stuff.
just a little push. And that personal growth store, we're praying.
Ooh, metaphor. Like those motor scooters that you gotta actually push
You gotta
first
run.
and then you go.
Uh-huh.
That's God. God said all you gotta do is just
You give it a kickstart.
hey, I'ma kickstart you and you gonna flourish.
Personal growth starts with it starts with prayer. Then you have to have accountability partners because they are very mandatory.
Yo, accountability, that word had me in a chokehold. I used to be like, cause you don't hold yourself accountable. I hold myself accountable. In
You
reality,
wasn't holding yourself accountable.
I was holding others accountable because I was too afraid to hold myself accountable.
Absolutely. Who wants to say it was me? Everybody. But again, personal growth. I hold myself accountable. If it was me, it was me. I'm not too big to apologize. I'm not too big to tell you now, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk to you in that way, but at that particular moment, even though you don't make an excuse for what you did at that moment, but at that moment, I wasn't in the right headspace. Again, your space, I wasn't in the right headspace.
And it's not you making excuses, it's you really taking accountability to be like, hey, I probably did say your mama. But, at that moment,
I wasn't in the right headspace.
I wasn't in the right headspace. I'm not saying
continuously happen.
You'll be like, well, how many times you gonna go to that
That's
headspace?
you. But if I'm not in the right headspace, your mama. Girl, please.
No, but seriously,
growth takes accountability. You have to be accountable. You have to take accountability for it.
Okay, so let's break this down. So personal growth, we talked about God at the top of the list. Like we have to have a relationship and we have to let God know, like, hey, okay.
And when we say have a relationship, because people misinterpret that for wrong things. When I say have a relationship, and my interpretation of a relationship is you pray every day. You have to pray, even if it's, Lord, I thank you for waking me up. Lord, I thank you for lying me down at night, watching us while we sleep. As long as you have a personal relationship, I'm not saying you got to get the Bible and pick it up and read it every day, but as long as you at least pick it up sometime.
Yeah.
And learn your way, because people will say you gotta have a relationship. They think you gotta talk in tongues and lay up prostrate on the floor and all the things. No, having your relationship. Everybody's relationship with God is different.
Everybody's relationship with God is different.
Yes,
that is correct.
Like even with the kids, my kids, like you teach your children how to pray. Something
Baby,
simple.
my daughter can
listen.
She can shout. Do you understand?
I'm playing, man.
I'm not playing. That girl is
My baby 14 and she knows how to pray for herself. Like she don't come and say, "Mommy, pray for."
Oh, don't worry about it, because that's a whole nother.
But you gotta teach your kids because they're trying to put y'all.
You do.
And even personal growth is pouring into other people.
Ooh.
Like it's a lot. But first, the top of the list is knowing, having a personal relationship with God first
Right.
and foremost.
And then the next personal growth is being honest and not afraid.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Because like we said, it can be a very scary place.
It can.
But just saying, you know what, God, I trust you. And I'm honored that you are allowing me to get into this space in my mind. Like, you know, to just be focused and understand who I am. Right now, in my personal growth as Chanel, I mean, I'm starting a podcast, something that I always wanted to do, but I never just thought I was good enough to do it. I mean, I feel like I sound like Elmo's aunt. But what encouraged me was I put it out there and I got so much feedback. And I got so much what people saying, oh my God, girl, because you be talking. Or, you know, like, oh, I just know conversations with you are always good because we go deep, real fast, we're cool. And
But sometimes you gotta watch who you go deep with.
you do. We talked about that.
Watch who you tell stuff to.
That's another episode.
But even 40, I'm about to be 40. I'm sorry, about to be 40.
Girl, you look good. I heard that. They said it on crack.
I'm about to be 40 and I'm still learning it. So
Wow.
don't let anybody put a time limit on you learning yourself. Oh, I'm 35 and I don't know me. I'm about to be 40 and I'm still,
And
I'm
you're
about to be
still-
40 and I'm still learning it.
Yeah.
Because again, I got consumed in other things, which wasn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that was a bad thing because I love my husband and my kids beyond means. But I still, in the meantime, while I was doing what I had to do for my husband and my kids, I should have been learning myself in the process. I should have been taking time for me in the process. Now, sis is outside. Sis is finding her own self. Sis is taking time for her, doing things for her, doing things that make me feel good.
And I love that for you. I am. If I never said this about anybody or anything, this lady right here has truly, honestly showed me growth. Like, it's one thing to hold me accountable. It's another to hear me. Because, you know, I don't want nobody to hear me. Scratch that. It's listening to me. You know, you walk in a room and it's loud. You walk in a stadium, it's loud. You hear a whole bunch of people. But when you finally zoom and tune in to that one conversation with Harry and Athena over there talking about who gonna wash the clothes
She's from the country
tomorrow.
talking about Athena.
Harry and Athena, they talking about, well, now, well, you were supposed to take the clothes out the dryer, and now you were supposed to put fabric softener in there. You be like, I hear everybody, but I'm listening to them. So it's a lot that goes on in the world, but when somebody takes the time to tune into you and listen, that means a lot. And so for your growth, that what I've seen over the past 4 months, I know it's been extremely hard.
Hell,
And
literally.
yeah. And I can't, you know how people are like, oh, I understand. I don't understand. And I don't want to understand no time soon to lose a spouse. I know how it feels to lose a loved one like a parent, but that's a whole other different level. You know what I'm saying? When you so tied with somebody, two different worlds that tied together and made it work and became a family and made such a beautiful family, it's hard. And so your personal growth, for me, from an outsider looking in, is top tier. Like, you one of the top lickers at the top of the show. He's still working at me.
I just took my lips.
You're right. I'm just playing, guys. Just playing. But no, but you are definitely, really. I honestly, personal growth. I wouldn't feel no type of way with anybody else, but to have this podcast and this topic with you, because who else can go through growth and still hold it together, still, you know, have children, have an everyday life, have a career. And like you said, you outside, and you know me, and I'm outside like Sexy Red. You mean I'm outside and I'm learning.
I'm living.
me,
I'm still
and
pushing
I'm
through.
Still pushing through.
I'm still getting up every day and doing what I have to do.
And there are some hard days, because she would definitely be like, today's just a hard day. But she is so open with it. That is growth, y'all, because we get so, you know, confined and so, I don't want to be judged, you know, type. And we don't tell nobody when we're hurting.
And that's another thing. Like, tears are therapeutic.
Absolutely. Baby, if you know me, I'm going.
Now people scared to cry. Tears are
People
therapeutic.
are
So I don't care
afraid.
where I'm at. If I'm at work and they begin to fall, I let them.
Wow.
If I'm in the grocery store and I'm about to cry right now, but if I'm in the grocery store and they fall, I let them. And you know, I'm supposed to be like, no, I don't care who see me, because at the end of the day, you see me, but you don't really see me. You don't know it's a whirlwind on the inside. So I just let them be, and then once I cry and I get it out, I continue proceeding with my day.
It's a cleanser.
It is.
Wash me.
Oof. No, have mercy. Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. So I think this was just not sustaining. That's what helps me keep going by my day, because I'm not afraid to shower. I'm not afraid to cry. I'm not afraid to grieve. I'm not afraid to be emotionally vulnerable. It is what it is.
It's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely.
That's really deep, and that's part of personal growth too.
I was mad at myself when I, on the days when I used to be like, when I had a sense of hope and happiness, I used to be like, why are you? Because in my mind, I'm supposed to grieve for the rest of my life.
Wow.
But the personal growth that I'm learning now is straight. That's not how God designed you. That's not. He said you're supposed to rejoice when these people die.
Ooh.
I'm not supposed to grieve and be sad and grieve myself to death when I have kids to raise. So when I be happy, I be happy.
And then your personal growth end up being your children's growth, because now I've watched mama push through. I've watched mama really like, yes.
I watched mama bury our daddy.
I watched mama be the real MVP.
I watched my mama I watched her when she was weak. I watched her be strong. She's still taking care of us, and she's still doing what she needs to do.
Ooh, growth.
And I am. So my personal growth had to come swiftly and quickly, but I'm growing, I'm evolving. I'm becoming a better version of me that I could ever be.
I love that. I'm super excited. This personal growth also is huge for this podcast.
Absolutely.
Girl, what happened? Let's talk about it. It's a safe space, and it's a time for us to get it out. And I know we a little over, but I'm so honored to have you. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest.
I say no tears too, y'all.
You did good, girl. You did good.
Let's talk about it.
Let's just keep talking about it. Let's enjoy life. And for the young lady at Crafty Crab, shout out to y'all. Sanaya, for putting that on our heart and giving us confirmation.
And remember, please always remember, even in spite of whatever you're going through, and I'm talking to me too.
Yeah.
Personal growth starts with God. It starts with prayer, and it starts with you having your own personal relationship with Him, because without Him you cannot move forward. And I had to learn firsthand, people. Then we're gonna go to self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Figure out who you are.
And don't be biased. Be like, damn, I do be doing that.
What language?
Sorry.
And
Self-awareness.
Yes, your self-awareness. You're figuring out. Hold yourself accountable. You have to start there too. So God, hold yourself accountable. Have self-awareness, and then have you an accountability partner. And even if you don't have accountability partner, have a journal.
Oh,
that'll hold you accountable too.
Yeah,
have your journal.
And be real.
And journaling not for everybody, because journaling not for me.
It's for me. I'm writing it down in my phone, in my tablet.
Talk therapy is my thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
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 So I talk it out, and I don't talk it out to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't trust everybody with my thoughts. I don't trust everybody with my feelings.
You're absolutely right. Accountability. See, she's still holding me accountable.
I'm gonna always hold you.
I thank God for this. This was really good, and I know it could have got even more deeper, but you guys tune in to the next session of Let's Talk About It. And Trey, I thank you. Girl, I gotta give you a hug. I gotta give you a hug. Oh, I love you.
Love you too. All right, guys, talk about it.